When you first started taking an interest in music, who was influencing you, if anyone, and what inspired you to go into sort of music itself?
Well, I don't like any bands in particular. I like songs.
Right.
So I could never say I'm a Duran Duran fan or a, you know, Paul Young fan or whatever, Dolly Parton fan. I'm a fan of anybody who makes a good record. And that can change. I mean, if somebody makes a bad record, I don't immediately write them off, because I now realise that people can come back, you know, once you have a good record. Right. You know, I don't believe in that myth that once you've had your chance, it's finished. When I was younger, I used to listen to Gladys Knight and the Pips. My favourite female singer is probably Gladys Knight, Denise Williams, loads of men, Glenn Campbell, Gene Pitney, Elvis. Lots of people. I mean, I just like anyone who's got a bit of talent.
Well, I was going to say, because a lot of people find it strange. I mean, even like with myself, where they say you can't possibly like all these forms of music. But then I put it down to musical snobbery, where people sort of try to sort of perhaps lock themselves into one form and not particularly like any other.
Well, you know, the idea, I mean, when you say I'm a music lover, I mean, music takes all different kinds of forms, you know, and if you're a music lover, you have to like everything. And there isn't anything I don't like. Really, I don't like that much heavy metal music, but I quite like Def Leppard. I think some of the stuff they do is quite good. I quite like Led Zeppelin in their day. And I quite like anything that's good. I mean, on every album, you could go and get an album, like there's a second-hand album store in London, you can go and get about 5 albums of unknowns. Guaranteed you'll find 2 songs on the album that you'll like. You know, it's just that people obviously don't get the breaks that they deserve, and that's just tough, you know. Well,
I read somewhere in one interview, or article actually, where they described you as sort of like a ringmaster of a circus.
A circus. Well...
But being, I mean, meaning that there are so many acts that you tend to like to do, even with your own members of your own group, is that...
Yeah, I think that, you know, after a while, things become boring. I mean, and you have to do certain things to keep it exciting.
I'd known of George from the Blitz and places like that, because I used to be a great club goer, and I knew Marilyn for a long time. Right. And I was doing a cabaret down at Heaven, which is a sort of big disco, which is a benefit for this guy Andrew Logan, who just done an alternative Miss World and lost 20,000 quid. So there are loads of acts there that's trying to sort of help raise money for him. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, I staggered out. And there was George and Marilyn and Philip Salon, who's a mate of both of theirs. And Marilyn said, "Yeah, she can sing. She sang on Walk on the Wild Side. Give her a job." And George said, very, very dubious. And then Marilyn said, "Go on, sing." And so I was trying to make me sing outside Charing Cross Station. And George said, "Well, no, she's not a performing poodle." He's very calm and very nice about it. And so what he said was come down to the studio in, I think it's 2 weeks after that, and sing on this song they've got called Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? And so I did.
On the new album, Helen is singing on the new album. She's singing on a couple of tracks. We've got 3 people, Helen Terry, Adele, and Phil Pickett plays keyboards, and they're doing like 3-part harmonies because, you know, it's like a new sound and it sounds great. And I sung backing vocals on Helen's single on the B-side. Right. They're really... I didn't want that kind of paranoia, you know, where the artist takes everything. You know, OK, people look at Culture Club and they say it's just Boy George, but when people see us live, they say, wow, the band's great, and they are great. And, you know, everyone in this band is a genius in their own way, and nobody in this band is kind of, could be got rid of. Right. You know, I couldn't sack anyone, and they couldn't sack me. This is, you know, like, we were doing this deal with a company in America, I won't name the company for advertising reasons, and the guy said, oh, will this band be the band you bring to America? And people still don't realise that Culture Club is a band, it's 4 people, okay, and there is no separation, you know, and internally within the band, there's a real strength, and although people do try to kind of penetrate that strength, it'll always be very strong because we have a lot of respect for each other. And now, you know, there was a period, I think, when everybody was really paranoid about me getting all the attention. Now everyone's kind of, you know, John goes out shopping, gets mobbed, you know, and it's cool. Everybody now has their own kind of little fan club and their own kind of job and their own kind of role, and that's great. And so that allows me to bring in other people, you know. And, you know, I mean, at first everybody said, oh, Helen, 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 but, you know, they love Helen now. You know, Roy, after Church of the Poison Wine, that was the real big thing.